Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the channel, another video where we talk about the future of FIFA, or where FIFA is right now and the disarray it's in terms of career mode and pro clubs. On this occasion we're talking more specifically about what this actually means for FIFA 20, which obviously, to talk about that game when FIFA 19 is not even out seems a bit nutty, but when we look at what we got from FIFA 19 there's not really much to talk about in terms of the game, is there really? Basically, I'm going to look at what has been said, because EA have kind of backed themselves in a corner in recent days, and not only have they confirmed what we all feared about FIFA 19 in terms of the fact we're not getting any new features, or license equals feature essentially, which is a topic I've already talked about in another video. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Not only did we confirm that, but they also sort of put them, let's say, in a corner where they suggested that the Champions League was at fault for them not having any features in career mode in particular. And for me, what it kind of hints at is the new features will come in the future. So we'll sort of talk about that, and as well as many other factors as well that make FIFA 20 quite an important game, and probably the last chance, certainly for me and probably for a lot of people, that EA have to deliver for the single player gamers in terms of career mode, and then also pro clubs, which is even worse than career mode, the situation there. Now, just to catch you up in case you haven't seen everything, but I imagine as you're on this video you do know most of the events that have gone on over the last few weeks. Since FIFA 19 beta was released to certain people, we became aware of the fact career mode hasn't really been touched at all. With Gamescom being this week, and Gamescom's normally where we start getting information about career mode, we've had nothing. We had a tweet from Corey, who works at EA, saying that doesn't Serie A, La Liga and Champions League license mean count as a new feature for career mode, which is sort of what I talked about in that license equal feature video. So we had that, which pretty much confirmed to us that they are treating the licenses as new features. And not only that, ever since then we've also had, I can't remember who it was, but someone at Gamescom come out and say that in terms of career mode this year, they really wanted to nail the Champions League. They wanted to make sure the Champions League presentation was all right and the way it should be. Now, first of all, this is an awful excuse for not having features, because that should not take them that long. That should not constitute not doing anything to the game. That is such a shitty excuse that is beyond belief. But that is their reasoning. FIFA 19, they want career mode. They wanted to make sure that Champions League, and obviously the Europa League tied with it, was well presented in career mode. Now, I feel like that should be a done deal anyway. EA have a lot of money. EA have a lot of good people working there. They have a lot of talent. I don't feel like they need to put every single resource they have in career mode on making the Champions League look a little bit pretty. So shove that excuse right up your ass. But also I want to talk about the little details of that. What they're suggesting is essentially there's no new massive feature in career mode because they wanted to get this Champions League presentation absolutely correct. To me, what he suggests by saying that is this year is just about fine-tuning Champions League, and in the future is when we're going to start getting the new features. Now, career mode obviously needs new features, and that's before we even start talking about pro clubs as well, which isn't mentioned at all in Gamescom as far as I'm aware. But career mode needs a lot doing to it. And basically this employee said, like I say, this year's game was all about fine-tuning Champions League, and to me there's that sort of like he's suggesting, okay, this year's about that, next year might be about youth system, or having a database. I've seen a lot more support for databases, a sort of database system being added to career mode over the last few days, or new training or whatever. And obviously this needs to happen. Like I say, for me personally, FIFA 19 is their last shot. FIFA 19 possibly could have been it for me if they didn't have the UEFA license. I think the fact they've got a UEFA license is really cool. They've always done presentation relatively well, in my opinion, which is why I find it even more bizarre they need to concentrate a whole year on getting presentation right. And genuinely, about 6 months ago, when I first played PES 2018, I was thinking, actually, this is a good football game, and with the UEFA license, maybe I should get this instead of FIFA. Obviously, the UEFA license was lost by them, and it that kind of killed that that killed my ability to want PES, essentially, as much as it hurts that poor little game. So from then on I was like, okay, I guess it is FIFA then. But that UEFA Champions League is only going to give them my 1 year reprieve as far as I'm concerned. I'm very much at the end of my tether, or close to the end of my tether, and I'm quite a lenient guy. I feel like I've been lenient with FIFA in particular. I feel like I'm quite hard to push over, in terms of push over to my boiling point where I just get like, fuck off now. So for me anyway, FIFA 20 has to have at least a couple of new big features to career mode that change it up. And by saying this year, that FIFA 19 career mode was all about making sure the Champions League good. Next year we'll move on to more bigger things. By doing that, they've just put more pressure on themselves as far as I'm concerned. If there isn't anything substantial in career mode next year, I'm just not going to buy the game. It's simple as that. I can't be arsed with it anymore. They're lucky I'm buying it this year. They have no excuse. They have no excuse. The only reason for them to not make a new feature is if they secretly do want to kill it, which is a theory I've seen more and more people suggest, and is a theory that's becoming more and more prominent, I feel like, as the years go by, that EA just want to kill pro clubs in career mode because they can't make money from it. To me, if FIFA 20 doesn't have any significant change, there are only 3 reasons for that. A, they're just dickheads. Simple, just plain wankers. 2, they're lazy and they're just not going to do it. And 3, that they genuinely want to kill the modes. Either way, it's bad, and either way, I stop buying the game. So it's as simple as that for me. I think FIFA 20 is a massively important game, and if it isn't right, people will get pissed off. I can't see myself being the only one. I know of a few people that aren't going to buy FIFA 19 already. I feel like if FIFA 20 isn't up to standard, a lot of people will stop buying the game, and that is possibly the only way EA will actually buck their ideas up, but we don't know until we see more of it. Obviously that won't be for a good 10 months now. We've got the whole of FIFA 19 to go yet, so we won't actually know how good FIFA 20 will look until around June next year, so it's a long way away. We've got to just try and enjoy FIFA 19 as much as we possibly can in the meantime, sadly, or if people aren't buying the game, FIFA 18 for as long as they possibly can. Another point that I feel like it's worth mentioning is obviously FIFA 19 is the final FIFA to have the journey, and you don't have to be a knowledgeable guy to realise that since the journey came onto FIFA, career mode progress stalled significantly. Pro clubs was already getting left, so that didn't really affect that, but the journey took a significant amount of time and resource from modes like career mode. They obviously weren't going to take it from Ultimate Team because they know microtransactions are so dominant in that game, on that game mode, sorry. So the journey has taken from career mode and pro clubs, there's no doubt about it. And now the journey will be finishing, and FIFA 20 will be the first game without the journey. Hopefully career mode can take a little bit more of the limelight. My only one concern is they might do another story, and I do think this is a possible concern for me, that they do another story type thing and they do something different. The reason why that worries me is I think they can get a decent amount of money from essentially sponsorship. Essentially, these clubs, Man United are involved this year, LA Galaxy last year, obviously Real Madrid, they're all probably paying EA. They're probably like, okay, if we're part of this, we'll give you some money because this is good. This is good advertising. This is a good way to sell ourselves, to sell our brand. And not only that, EA seemed very deluded about the journey. I was watching their little They had one of their staff went on to the IGN Live panel at Gamescom. I watched it for about 10 minutes, and they predominantly talked about the journey and then kickoff mode, typically enough, because everyone plays bloody kickoff mode, you twat. Anyway, again, I digress. There's another day for a rant about kickoff. But he seemed to suggest that the journey has a lot of love and has a lot of support from the community, and fans love it. And I'm just thinking to myself, how deluded are these people? Yes, I'm sure there are people that like the journey and have enjoyed both the iterations so far. I'm sure there are people out there that do. Not everyone dislikes it, but I'm pretty sure the majority of FIFA fans, if they listen to them, they would find out that the journey's no better than okay. And if they were asked, would they rather have a better career mode or a better, even better Ultimate Team? Ultimate Team hasn't had much to it this year, seemingly. They'd rather have a better career mode, better Ultimate Team, better pro clubs, and just keep those the free mode than have the journey. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of people that play FIFA every year would say to you, get rid of the journey, make those free modes better. And it's still just, there's a little thing in my head that thinks they're just going to do another story. One of my theories is they're just dicks, and they do it for the fun of it. They do it to be like, they're pleased the little people that are always going to root for them, that are never going to question them, that are always going to be like, yeah, good job guys, this is brilliant. Because there are people out there, I've noticed people more and more, as much as there's been a lot more hate towards EA, there's also those people that just seem to love them no matter what. They don't seem to want to call them pricks or call them out for what they've done or the lack of what they've done. And there will always be people that they can just turn to and say, oh look, they like it, so we're justified. And yeah, FIFA 20, hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully, because I'm the only one that seemed to have suggested that. So hopefully that's just a scare that I have, and they won't do that. But without a story in it, they've surely got to give career mode and pro clubs the time they deserve, and hopefully we will get that. But that's pretty much why FIFA 20 to me is certainly the most important FIFA game they've ever made. I actually made a video a few months ago, this was just when I started doing FIFA videos more often, about why I thought FIFA 19 was so important, and it's kind of similar to this one. However, I feel like the importance of FIFA 19 has been completely just sunk to the bottom of the ocean. It's not important anymore. It's clear we're going to be ripped off, the people that are buying the game. I think the people that are buying the game accept they're going to get ripped off. However, they should still enjoy some parts of it. I still enjoy career mode on FIFA 18. I enjoy the fact that there's a few tiny little changes that they've done. But ultimately I'm probably being ripped off, and I think a lot of people are accepting that who are still buying it, and I think people that aren't buying it obviously accept that. However, FIFA 20, like I say, it's a tether for me. They've got to impress me or I'm not buying it, and I'm very much hell-bent on that. And once I say something like that, obviously you can't know this, you don't know me personally, but once I say something I'm pretty much going to keep to it. So you have my word. Obviously to remember this in next year when FIFA 20 is about to come out will be quite absurd of you, to be honest. How is your brain keeping this in? But if FIFA 20 doesn't have significant changes, or I'm not impressed by it, I just won't buy it. I won't buy it. I'm done getting ripped off. I feel like there are other sports games that do it so much better. There's the F1 games have recently come out, and they're made by Codemasters, who have so much less resources, and every year they make career mode much better. They even make multiplayer a lot better, and conventional multiplayer, which is what I consider pro clubs to be. That is more of a conventional multiplayer, not Ultimate Team. I feel like PES still give it their all. I've got a video talking about PES in the next couple of days because I find it interesting about what they're going to do now they haven't got the UEFA license, and how they can still actually be competition to FIFA, because I felt like they would be close to death after the UEFA license. But with FIFA 19 being a bit of a dead squib, and with the licensing they've been doing and how they've been working, I feel like PES still has an area that it can thrive in and still has the ability to attract. But that's another video. That'll be a video in the next couple of days. That's pretty much wrapped up this video. What's your thoughts on it? Are you buying FIFA 19? If you're not buying FIFA 19, you know there's no way you're going to have plans for FIFA 20, are you? But leave your thoughts on this topic. How important is FIFA 20? Like I say, I think it's incredibly important, and it could be era defining as far as I'm concerned. Leave a like if you agreed with any of the points that I made, or if you somehow enjoyed this video. Like I've said in one of my last ones, these videos aren't really easy to enjoy. It's just more videos that you sit along and you nod your head to, or you potentially disagree with. That's fine as well. We've all got opinions. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one, and that's fine. That's a saying I'll never forget. Anyway, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.